2023 regular Board of Education meeting. First things first, if you would all rise and join me in our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you all so much for being here tonight. We are here at Meads Mill, and we are very much looking forward to a number of presentations tonight, including our Patriots presentation. But first, a few things, orders of business. Dr. Campbell-Boytel, would you lead us? Would you do the roll call, please?
I'll be happy to. President Lindsay Wilson.
Here.
Vice President Sarah Prescott.
Hi, everyone here.
Treasurer Lisa McIntyre.
Here.
Trustee James Mazurek.
Here.
Trustee Karen Meyer.
Here.
Trustee Melissa Stewart.
Here.
And Secretary Kim Campbell-Boytel. I'm here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Campbell-Boytel. That brings us to number 4 on our agenda, which is the adoption of our agenda. Dr. Campbell-Boytel, would you do, or Ms. Prescott, would you do the honors, please?
Okay. It's motion number 101. I would move that we adopt the agenda as presented.
Support.
So I have a motion properly presented by Ms. Prescott and supported by Ms. McIntyre. Do we need any discussion on the adoption of our agenda tonight? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you so much. That brings us to number 5, consent resolutions. Ms. Prescott, once again, please.
All right, this is motion 102. I would move that the board accept the consent agenda items for approval as presented. A, the minutes of our April 25th Board of Education meeting. B, our 2022-2023 auditor recommendation of Plant Moran. C, overnight and/or out-of-state field trip requests. The number 1 NHS Girls and Boys Track and Field State Championship in Rockford, Michigan from June 2nd to 3rd, 2023. Go Mustangs. Number 2, NHS MIPA Summer Yearbook Workshop at MSU in East Lansing, Michigan from July 23rd to the 27th. C3, the Meads Mill Science Olympiad trip to Wichita, Kansas from May 18th to the 21st, 2023, coming right up. Good luck, guys. And 4, Hillside Middle School 6th grade trip to Camp Kopnaconic from September, we're going with that, from September 11th to the 13th, 2023. Bill warrants $2,133,142.74.
Support.
All right, thank you so much. So before we vote on this, just a brief introduction to what our consent agenda really means. These are items, and you heard the list. These are items that we've discussed in previous board meetings or in subcommittee or amongst us in other contexts. They don't necessarily usually require much more discussion than what we've already done, and that's why we're kind of rolling through those quickly. Any further discussion, folks? Yes.
Item B, which is in your packet but not on the screen, that was pulled because we didn't have the information yet, so it's going to be tabled until our May 23rd.
That's the auditor recommendation? Gotcha. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. Our consent agenda passes. That brings us to number 6 on our agenda, communications. Dr. Campbell-Boytel, would you do the honors, please?
Yes, we've had communications to MPSBOE at northvilleschools.org.
Thank you so much. And that brings us to one of the highlights of the evening, number 7, Dr. R.J. Weber. Take it away, please, Superintendent.
All right. So we're going to start with the actually the ABCD awards, and then I have some words on a month of appreciation and noticings, and a special bit of appreciation as well. But I think if we get rolling with the ABCD awards, that'd be great.
Who's taking that, Ms. Prescott?
ABCDs?
Yes.
Yes, sorry, happy to do it. I was thinking about what I wanted to say, seeing people in the room. I apologize. So the ABCD awards came upon us in the last couple of years as the board sought ways to really recognize individual contribution and just dig deeper into what the various staff members of this district are doing for our kids and to hear from the public. So these are awards that anyone can nominate any teacher, staff member for at any time, and we're always happy to give them. So for tonight, I'm going to call on Ms. Meyer, I think, to kick us off.
All right. So I get the pleasure of, honoring Miss Surnick, who, am I saying that correctly? I hope so, who is a science teacher at the high school. And this was submitted on behalf of a student. Ms. Cernick always goes above and beyond in the classroom. One of the most important portions of education is inclusivity and fostering a safe environment. She ensures that everyone feels safe and welcome, making learning comfortable and enjoyable. Within class, everyone feels safe to challenge new ideas, work together collaboratively, and ask questions. She's energetic and works with the best interest of her students. Biology is a very hard subject, and she incorporates several different learning styles, such as lectures, videos, and hands-on activities. She's an impactful teacher and will make a lasting impact on all students. So thank you very much to her. Is Ms. Cernick here today? All right, well, thank you very much.
All right, that gets to me, and I get the pleasure tonight of getting to speak to 3 of the 4 teachers that we're going to have from Meads Mill that are being recognized. So Mr. Chabot, come on up. Yes,
Come on now.
yes. So obviously, I had to be the one to thank and appreciate Mr. Chabot, who has made a difference in my own student's life. I'm first going to say what, how and why he was nominated. It was not me, but if I was going to nominate a teacher, he would have been at the very top of the list. Mr. Chabot is the best. This student, I mean, I loved this one because this person says that they had you first in 7th grade. And despite being one of the younger students in the class and expecting to be alone, it ended up being my favorite class. I can't tell you how many times a student at Meads Mill has told me, favorite teacher, right there. Mr. Chabot was the reason for this. He always does his best to liven up class time with jokes and ensures the environment is fun and interactive. Next, I had him online during my 8th grade year. Despite the circumstances, it was really still engaging and fun. I stopped and I thought, they had him online in their 8th grade year. Is this student like in an accommodation situation? No, you were nominated by someone who had you years ago and wanted to loop back and give you thanks. The student indicates that you are also a selfless advisor for DECA and Model UN and says your actions allow countless students to be exposed to interesting topics at a young age. Mr. Chabot is a true hero in and out of the classroom. So what I want to add to this is that I feel like you see students, you see them, and you see what their individual gifts are. And I have heard from many parents that your ability to use humor keeps their kids engaged, just like this person says. What I know from my student is an appreciation that your humor isn't at kids, it involves them. It brings them in instead of, you know, like someone isn't a target, someone is always in on the joke. And that appreciation that you're sort of on these kids' side, it just kind of flows out. And it really was my pleasure to get to, thank you and congratulate you tonight for all you have done.
Well, we're grabbing a picture there. Our team does the super sub, and so a number of us teach in classrooms, and I had the pleasure of teaching in yours. And I'm going to say, like, I have my own middle school youngster now in my own house, and your ability to connect with that group of students in that way in a subject that can sometimes be challenging for some, so eminently approachable, incredibly well organized, and you're loved here. So thank you very, very much. Yep.
All right. Thank you. All right, Ms. Maurer, come on up. How will you follow it? Well, I'm going to follow it. I'm going to also lift you up so much, Ms. Maurer, and I'll do it with personal words of thanks too. That's why I was happy to be able to do this. But I will also say that the student who recommended you or named you talked about what an amazing teacher you were, very helpful and kind. The words that I, in my research, was able to add to this was that You are a teacher who challenges the kids, and you don't expect them to know what the material is, but you expect to pull them forward. Your classroom is warm and inviting, and it's a place where everybody can be engaged and met where they are. You are positive and kind to the students. They incredibly respond to it, and I think it really lifts up the students and boosts the learning beyond what just the curriculum and the text that you're presenting to them. You are an advocate for these students, and they see that in every day in the way that you interact with them, and that you truly, truly care for them. So we thank you.
President Wilson, if it's okay, I'd like to share as well. I had two patriots who had Mrs. Mauer, Mr. Chabot, and I just want to say that I echo those words. Phenomenal. I mean, my daughter in math, Mr. Chabot, is probably the only reason she's surviving today at the high school. And Ms. Mauer was just such a great influence on her as well. So I want to echo those words as an educator and as a parent. Phenomenal work that I had with them. What a great opportunity they had to be here with them.
They really
you.
pack a punch in the math curriculum here in Meads, so we really thank them. All right, we're going to move on to Ms. Stewart for our next award.
All right, I have the pleasure of presenting an award to Kyle Kobe. Did I get that right? A science teacher here at Meads Mill. Is he here today?
No, he's at the DC parent meeting. He's going on.
He's a chaperone too. Amazing. See, this is what we're talking about. Okay. Should I go ahead though? Yeah. Okay. So Mr. Kobe was nominated by a student. He says, Mr. Kobe went above and beyond for me. I was having a hard day with a difficult friend situation, and he not only noticed, but took the time to talk to me, gave me great advice, and turned my day around. I think he is a great fit for this award because he is very kind and helpful. So not only a science teacher and a chaperone, but a friend to our students. So
And perhaps if we do find him so we could circle back to get a picture, that would be great. Another fun fact about Mr. Kobe is he was my student as a 7th grader in South Lyon. And when I saw him here, and you can, those of us who are fortunate enough to teach know there's certain kids that you just see something in, and then when you see them later in life and they're doing what you thought they'd be really good at, it feels good. And Kyle was that kid. When I had him working with groups at Young Man, his empathy, his care, working with other students, his kindness. And when I saw that we had hired him here as a teacher, it just made my heart sing. So those full circle moments keep coming back the grayer I get, but Kyle is amazing. And just to hear his empathy in there is a beautiful thing.
Give him a hand.
We'll go back to Ms. Meyer.
Okay. Well, I have the pleasure, I just want to make sure I'm lining up, but I have the pleasure of talking about Ms. Mooney, who is a paraprofessional at a self-contained classroom at the high school. And she was nominated by a parent. This parent says, I often say to parents that I meet at Northville High School who do not have a child in special education that the paraprofessional is the unsung hero of every school, but especially in our lives. My son could not get throughout his day without the help of our 2 classroom paraprofessionals. She has worked continuously to help our son with technology. She helps him when he has sensory overload so that he can calm down and get back to the rhythm of his day, and so that he can learn and participate in class. Ms. Mooney has the wonderful attribute of patience, and she has also shared many resources. We cannot express how much we appreciate her as a person and as a paraprofessional. She's a true asset to our program and school. So thank you very much to Ms. Mooney.
All right. right, I am going to be able to give the next award to Ms. McDonald, who is not here tonight, although she is in this building and is the AR teacher here at Meads. The student who nominated her said Mrs. McDonald really pushes us to our limits and tries to grow our reading and writing capabilities as with other great skills such as presenting and note-taking. She really wants her students to understand what she is teaching and always adds fun and prizes and challenges in whatever we are doing. And I would just add that, again, having experienced myself, Mrs. McDonald's amazing skill set. She is smart and she does stretch these kids. She inspires creativity, which is one of my favorite things for a teacher to care about and pay attention to and really look to in her students. And she also gives kids a chance to be who they are and to, as I said before, sort of meet kids where they are and then take them forward. So for all those reasons, we thank you, Ms. McDonald, and we recognize this above and beyond the Call of Duty Award. And back to Ms. Stewart.
All right, I have the last one tonight. Is Miss Tanya Trailer in the building tonight? Oh, well, hey. So she is an ELA teacher here at Meads Mill. She's been nominated also by a student. The student says her method of teaching is so wonderful and she makes learning so much easier for us. She makes us participate in regular writing, vocabulary, and grammar lessons. Not only that, she gives us weekly tests to test our learning. She is not only working on our language, but also engaging us in class presentations to improve our public speaking. I enjoy taking her class, and I want to continue my 7th and 8th grade classes with her as well. So, congratulations to Miss Trailer.
Great, President Wilson, those are all of our awards for tonight.
Thank you so much. Well-deserved honors for those award winners. That brings us to 7B, our Northville High School yearbook presentation. Actually, sorry, Dr. Weber, for stealing your thunder.
Oh, no, this is, I'm new at this. I'm excited to see these. So here we are.
Nice. Is last night and it's fantastic.
Oh boy, here they are. Come on up.
It's awesome.
This is a nice change up. Normally we're at Cook when we get the yearbook presentation, but it's nice to be in a bigger audience.
Sure.
I have looked through part of it already.
Have you?
Hi, I'm Gibson Boyd, and I'm one of the editors-in-chief for the 2023 Northville High School Yearbook.
And I'm Olivia Harris, and I'm the other editor-in-chief.
We began preparing for this year's yearbook about a year ago. We were really excited by the privilege of getting to create such a special book to commemorate our class and all of the students at NHS this year. Thank you.
We were inspired by a quote about horizons being the limit of a person's mental perception, experience, or interest. We really liked the idea of showcasing our various heights and accomplishments that Northville students reach. We are constantly pushed to broaden our horizons and become the limitless versions of ourselves throughout our 4 years at NHS.
So about a year ago, when we came into our first meeting with Ms. Baditsoy, we had an idea, but not much else. We knew we wanted this yearbook to incorporate a positive message of looking ahead to our next goals while simultaneously documenting the amazing achievements and hard work from this school year. So throughout our first couple meetings with Ms. B, we just kept coming back to the idea of broadening our horizons, which eventually led to our title, Horizons.
We really felt that this simple yet powerful title really captured the vibe of our book. We hope to showcase our unique stories and successes in a clear and concise yearbook. We were impressed throughout the year by our staff's ability to adapt to various challenges and entirely different software. We overcame unique difficulties during each and every single one of our deadlines.
So this year's staff met every single deadline, and if you know anything about yearbook, that is very difficult to do. So that was very impressive. And we would like to thank our superintendent, Dr. RJ Weber, and the board for supporting the 2023 staff, as well as our advisor, Ms. B, and our yearbook staff.
Today, we are excited to deliver Dr. Weber's copy of the yearbook, as well as several copies for board members to I turned it off. Okay. While the board has once again graciously offered to donate their copies to graduating seniors experiencing financial difficulty, we wanted to ensure that you still had an opportunity to enjoy the celebration of Northville High School. We thank you for your generosity and support. And with that, we leave you with an opportunity to look at our beautiful yearbooks. Thank you.
And one of the supplements down there.
So I'd love to make a comment. I mean, this is really, it's a fun event that we do every single year. Like I said, normally we're at Cook when the time comes around to get them. So you guys are actually even ahead of schedule, which is really awesome. But what I really love is, I go back a lot of years and we kind of remember yearbooks. They're still rectangular and about the same thickness, but what's inside looks so different from what I remember as a yearbook, right? In the old days, we just had pictures and maybe there was some sports things. And if you look at this yearbook, they tell stories. They tell stories about who they are. And it's not just about individuals, it's about connections. I was just looking at, one of the pieces in here. And I think that's what's kind of cool. It tells the story of their class, what they went through, and it tells their relationships. It's not just a picture. It's not this. It's more of a story. And I love how each of the classes kind of morphs their own story to fit them. So it's one heck of a challenge to do a 400-page book, 300-page book, and then also do the supplements, which I know you guys are probably still getting some supplements out with some of the sports still going on in that. But to tell that story in your own way, to represent your own class, and just the look and feel of it. You can see each year it's slightly different, right? And it takes your spin. So great job. We love to see that stuff. We love to see the creativity, and it's great to see the energy. I mean, you just open the book and you can see the life that's in it. So thank you.
I'll just say congratulations to I guess I'll call it the editorial staff. I mean, to take something like this on, just the supplement alone, let alone the actual yearbook.
It's amazing.
Take something like that on and to get it from start to completion, the publication, filled with what it's filled with, and having to coordinate, I can't imagine, pictures, probably with parents to some degree, all the sports teams, the quotes, the interviewing. Hats off to you guys and the team. Wonderful job. I'm shocked. I'm shocked by looking at it. It's a pretty wonderful piece. There's my daughter right there.
That's
Not,
the page.
That's right.
and for you all to not miss a deadline, genuinely, in thinking of how packed this year, like some mad management skills right there. Well done. I'm going to take some notes.
Well, I just would like to say I haven't looked at the high school yearbook for many years, since my kids graduated. And one of the things that struck me just in this few moments that I've been sitting here looking at it is it's more than just static pictures. There's a life being conveyed in the kinds of comments and questions, the tips, the stories, the suggestions that you elicited when you did your interviewing, your Q&As. It's just, I can feel the actual students that fill this book and who they are and what they're busy doing and their thoughts and hopes and horizons, their views of their horizons. So it's really a wonderful, remarkable publication. Thank you for letting us see it.
So I look at it too. I mean, we talk about all the clubs that are at the high school. So all the time that it takes to document all of the clubs, get the pictures, name the students. It really shows how inclusive Northville High School is of athletics, all of the extracurriculars, all of the different clubs. So thank you for all of the effort, and it's a beautiful book. I can't wait to go home and look at my
It really
kiddos and dig into it a little bit more.
Take it in so many directions too, the historic angle, the then and now kind of perspective on where we are, what we've achieved, where we're going. I mean, it's a really dynamic memory book. So nice job.
So really quickly, I have a freshman this year, and he came home yesterday and he was like, "You are not going to believe how huge this yearbook is." Because, coming from elementary where it's the size of the supplement, and then middle school, it's a little heftier. But he came home and he was like, "You got to check this out." And he was so excited. So good job.
Beautiful job.
What I wanted to say is, first of all, thank you so much for dedicating your time in it. I'm sure you're just coming off of being in the thick of this for a year, but I still have my yearbooks, and they're just a wonderful momentum going forward. So you just not only spent a very valuable year that's going to last your classmates a very long time. So that's really special. Thank you for doing that.
Good job.
All right, well done. And I'll let you know for graduation, I've sketched out what I want to say, and it's going to be, I'll just give you the three big themes, but I'm going to add one because of you all, because of this. Is it weird? This is my first year. If I just walk around, have people sign this tonight, and, show up at the high school and whatnot. I just think it'd be kind of fun. But so my themes are going to be first, final, and forever. But the way you explained horizon, and that term horizon, I think is really a thing of beauty and wisdom. That is why whenever anyone asks me, and I've said this before, like, are you ever worried about our future? No. I get to serve kids like you, students like you. I get to know you in these ways. You didn't miss a deadline. Like you said, this is like, I don't know if I've ever seen something, not only the size of it, which tells us that you worked so hard to include as many people as you possibly could. So thank you for giving a physical manifestation of what makes, I think, our high school and our school system really incredible. Thank you. And on the theme of gratitude, what time is it? So we weren't sure. I was pacing 1 week ago tonight, even though people were like, RJ, have a seat. It's going to be okay. Like to say thank you very much to the community for supporting our bond. You're going to wait right there, mister. All right. I never talked to him like that as a seventh grader. Didn't need to. For our bond tonight at finance, and perhaps our treasurer would like to speak to that. I mean, the wheels are already turning, and incredibly grateful for our opportunity to not only continue this, but please understand that the people sitting at this table, the folks that I have the privilege to serve beside, take your faith in us very, very seriously, and we're going to honor that yes vote in a way that helps our district and our kids in our district. So I'm not sure, Ms. McIntyre, if you'd like to say anything about how the wheels are already spinning.
Yeah, I'm glad to jump in. Oh gosh, yeah. First of all, thank you to the community, right? That was a huge bond, that it was my first opportunity also as a sitting board member to, be part of that initial study committee, and then to be a part of the Say Yes to NPS. So many hours and moments of worry as well that, I had this thought I think Tuesday afternoon, like, oh gosh, could we have done more? So really excited to be able to bring to the community the upgrades that we're really looking to implement, that while the community is, trusting us with the stewardship of the dollars, that's a huge investment in our future for our students. But we're starting to, I think the community knows that we're looking at how we can do the design and the construction phase for some more simple projects, like, it doesn't sound simple, but a stadium, the bleachers in the stadium, but also looking at getting the technology going pretty quickly, buying the Chromebooks. And then we are looking at what does the calendar look like? What is the construction phase, the architectural design phase, and then building out to present to the community what are the plans, what are our timeframes, and getting started on that as soon as we can, but also knowing that it takes time, that there are processes in place that we want to make sure that this is what the community is looking for, and following through on that. So there will be more information
coming to the community. I know that with previous bonds, we had updates to our website. There was as much communication coming out as we could push out without overwhelming the community with all of the minutia of the details. But please know that the wheels are turning. They've been turning, and look forward to that communication coming out soon.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
just add another note of thanks. I mean, thank you, voters, first and foremost. I mean, overwhelming support, I think, in my mind, 70+%. So thank you. I think you saw the importance of this and why it's so important to keep investing in our school district and in our kids and our teachers. Thank you to the team, the Say Yes to NPS team. There are a ton of individuals to thank, but I want to hit 3 of them right here in the front row that I thought just kind of went above and beyond, literally and figuratively. Ms. Irving, thank you so much. Mr. Zoff, thank you so much. Ms. Peck, thank you so much. I mean, the entire team deserves thanks, but I feel like you guys just put in so much effort. I saw it in those Thursdays and just, around the clock kind of work on this. Thank you to the bond study team last year. Thank you to sort of bond teams of Christmas past, right? Who sort of laid the groundwork for some of this, right? And this is a monumental thing that we did, and we're all looking forward to. And some of those things you'll see here in place at Meads Mill. Some really awesome
Considerable.
things that we're excited about. So just thank you again. Anybody else?
Without saying thank you to Megan, who nobody seems to realize what Megan's role is, but in a lot of cases, you see an orchestra, right? Everybody's playing and doing all these great things, but someone has to lead them, someone has to keep them on time, someone has to keep them in place. And you wouldn't know that, but she cracks a mean whip and keeps us all online.
I've got stories, Mr. Mazurek. We'll talk.
We'll right? Be careful. She's going to keep you really in.
I know. I got to thank you for that advice.
It
actually.
takes someone to kind of make it all happen. And really, it's the maestro who just pulls it all together. And Megan, thank you.
And for our team, in public education, realize that when we do these bonds, that everyone that President Wilson, Trustee Mazurek spoke about, they have their regular day job as well. So what we are doing is we're asking all these folks who are doing human resources and business and managing a superintendent to do this on top of it, and never a complaint, just nose to the grind. And fondly, I will forever look back at this team and this year and how you rose to this occasion. And I'm very thankful for that. Right on. Mr. Kobe, could we just get a quick picture with you? I don't know if you want to read what that person said about him, because that was really sweet.
I can read it again really quickly. I made it through the first time without crying,
got
so hopefully I can do it again. So you were nominated by a student who says, Mr. Kobe went above and beyond for me. I was having a hard day with a difficult friend situation, and he not only noticed, but took the time to talk to me, gave me great advice, and turned my day around. There's a little bit more, but you get the gist, and you'll get the whole statement.
Let's go get my stuff.
Yes.
When you were out of the room, I told him that we knew each other from a few years ago, 7th grade, right? Yep. And I said to the room that, you can just tell when somebody has it. And my hope as an educator is that when those people in the classrooms I taught and have it, I really do hope they go into education. No offense to anyone else in the room, whatever you choose to do, I'm biased. And so when I saw this young man and knew what he could do and would be doing with our kids, and know that these are the folks that we have hired and will continue to hire, your kids are in really good hands. So I'm really, really incredibly ridiculous and proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Do you need any chaperones for the trip? Because I have a couple board members who want to relive their days of glory. Okay, and we'll also go into our PTA Council Advocacy Update. I believe we have somebody here who's going to do that. Yeah, come on up. I believe we have a microphone for you, unless I ruined it. If not, we can find another one. Okay, good. Thank you.
All right, and I have to hold something. Okay. So, hi, I'm Laura Christensen Guthrie. I'm the advocacy chair for the Northville Council of PTAs. I'm here to give you an update about our recent advocacy efforts on behalf of National PTA and Michigan PTA, and of course, on behalf of our district. So, our own Karen Meyer is the federal advocacy chair for the Michigan PTA. So, Advocacy Week for the federal legislature was held virtually this year. In the past, they've gone and actually met with the legislators, but this year it was virtual. So Karen organized video conferences, except for one meeting that was in person, with each of the 12 legislators from Michigan. We have 10 representatives in the US House and of course 2 senators. So 12 PTA members, including me, from Michigan attended the various meetings. And so during the meetings with the legislative offices, there were 4 asks that we presented. So the first one was about family engagement. So we asked members of Congress to support legislation that gives parents access to meaningful family engagement with their school. Schools with meaningful engagement have better student outcomes, better attendance, graduation rates, and higher test scores. This is just a reminder how fortunate we are in Northville to have active PTAs at our schools that are supported by building and district administration, and we appreciate that. The second ask was about school safety and gun violence prevention. So this included many things, but such as asking legislators to support safe storage, age requirements on purchases of specific firearms, as well as federally funding research into best practice in regards to school safety. So our third ask was about welcoming, inclusive, and supportive schools, which I think we do a good job of here. So this included things such as asking legislators to support funding IDEA at $16.2 billion, which is actually only 13% of the 40% that was promised almost 50 years ago. Also supporting the Farm to School program, which gives schools access to local produce. And then asking members of Congress to support legislation that provides students access to mental health services. And then our fourth ask was about digital safety and well-being. So updating the Children and Teens Online Privacy and Protection Act, specifically as it relates to transparency, marketing, and security. Increasing the parental consent protections from 13 to 16. And then asking members of Congress to support legislation that gives districts adequate funding for internet security and that provides protections for minors' internet data. So recently there's been a significant increase of districts that have been held ransom as student data is not only possibly compromised, but creates learning loss as schools cannot function and it can cost districts millions of dollars to recover that data. So that was the federal stuff. And then Michigan PTA's Advocacy Day was held on March 22nd, and it was in person for the first time since 2019. We had 7 parents and 1 student from Northville. I'm hoping next year maybe we'll have some more students come with us. But we had those people from Northville attend the Michigan PTA program, as well as meetings with all of the legislators who represent any part of the Northville Public School District. So we had Rosemary Bear is our senator. And then we have 3 representatives, Matt Colazar, Jason Morgan, and then we met with one of Kelly Breen's staffers. She was supposed to meet with us in person, but her committee was actually working on some of the gun prevention legislation that we were there to advocate for. So that was the best reason that we could have not seen her. So also many of the legislators represent parts of more than one school district. So as appropriate, we combined our meetings with PTA members from Plymouth, Livonia, Farmington, and Walled Lake. So then in each of these meetings, we presented Michigan PTA's asks, which are a little bit different than the federal ones. So again, we had 4. So the first one was support increased and sustained school funding. So we asked to protect the school aid fund, support funding for literacy grants and coaches, fund additional curriculum and professional development, and more. provide universally free breakfast and lunch, and that's one that actually seems to be on their minds, so that's good. Support funding for recruitment and development of teachers, funding for universal pre-K, funding for support of students with disabilities, funding for the Michigan Climate Plan, and for the modernization of school transportation vehicles. And then our second ask was about supporting seizure-safe schools legislation. So this would require seizure recognition and first aid response training for all school personnel, mandates seizure action plans as part of a student's file, ensures that any prescribed seizure medication, like rescue medication, would be administered, and then also includes a Good Samaritan clause. Number 3 was to support gun violence prevention legislation. So we asked them to support universal background checks, extreme risk protection orders, and secure storage. And then also to support the governor's proposed budget items to fund gun violence prevention policies, to establish the Office of Community Violence Intervention Services, and to work on juvenile justice reform. And then our fourth ask was support mental health and wellness legislation. Again, like the federal one, mandate mental health coverage, work with Michigan Department of Education to develop standards for educators to recognize mental health needs and training on how to refer students to help. Work toward having licensed mental health professionals in every high school, increase screenings, and expand services for students with moderate and severe mental health needs, and support broader access to training and school-based programming regarding suicide prevention specifically. And that's it. So we were all, I think, very excited to go and meet with our legislators and present these things on behalf of our schools and our PTAs. And I'd like to say a big thanks to Michigan PTA and National PTA for all that they do to organize this and research all these issues and stay on top of them and get us all the information and get it all ready for us to go. So anyway.
And I know we have a couple board members who are deeply involved in PTAs and PTSAs. I don't know if you have any questions or comments.
I just want to thank Laura. I'm so glad that she's doing the advocacy share so they can continue on. So thank you.
Yeah, this used to be Karen's job, so she's still she's still, like I said, the federal advocacy chair for Michigan PTA. But I took over this local part for our district, so I'm happy to do it. It's great shoes to follow in.
Thank you, Laura. You have other things to do, and you do them, and we really appreciate it. It was really great to hear. I was especially interested in the federal. When I heard the 4 federal areas of focus, it really struck me that those are things that I hear from our families a lot. Things like school safety, mental health, well-being. Some of the the areas of focus really do seem to align with what I hear from parents. So I appreciated that, and of course, funding IDEA for the first time in 50 years that'd be amazing. That'd be nice.
15.2 billion, that would only be, what was it, 13% of the original promised 40%. So that's.
Yeah.
So this is an unfunded mandate, which is another person might call a tax. You could call it a tax on local school districts. So thank you for that.
Thank you. So you guys sitting up at the head table here, so to speak, can't see it, but just turn around really quick. Take a look outside the fishbowl. I feel like I've got this pressure right now to go through these 3 or 4 things that I want to hit because they're just going to come through the doors. And yeah, this is it. I think Principal O'Neill and Assistant Principal Landman are giving us the full experience tonight. I appreciate that. Before we roll into the 2 of you and all of your wonderful children and what you're going to take us through, this, of course, is Teacher Appreciation Week. Hopefully we've seen that. And just simply remembering somebody from your past and giving them a shout out in some way, sending them an email or a phone call is a beautiful thing. I'm grateful to our crew for getting the Cinnabon trucks rolling. They've been very well received out there. And I know PTAs are really delivering for that. And there's so much more I'm sure we could say, and what society could do for professional educators who have helped our kids and ourselves, frankly. It's also tomorrow, I believe, is Nurse Appreciation Day, and we're fortunate to have a number of nurses serve the kids in our district. Speech and Hearing Month is this month. Folks might not realize, but we serve 500 students every month around speech and hearing. And as a father of somebody who receives speech therapy, I'm exceptionally grateful for the impact that that has. And it's something that as public schools we do as a service to provide to the students that we serve. And finally, it is Mental Health Awareness Month. We'll be talking a little bit more about that at the COW. Vice President Prescott, highlighted that in noting what was talked about with our PTSAs. Undeniably, we are facing something, and we're facing it together. I want to say that we're facing this together. That the world really has not seen. The numbers of students and adults who need help right now is stunning, frankly. And I'm proud of the things that we've done thus far and excited for where we can go to help people. With that, before the doors get knocked down, I will welcome up the leader of Meads Mill, and I know many people here on the board and here over here. I've had the pleasure of working with these two gentlemen, and the energy I feel when I come into this building is just magic. I love it. So let's have some fun. Let's go to middle school.
All right, thank you. I'd like to welcome the Board of Education, Dr. Weber, our central office leadership team, our staff that are here this evening. Our number one priority, our students who are so excited to showcase themselves and very proud of their accomplishments and so forth. And also our MPS learning community, our Meads Mill family that's here. We have a lot of parents here as well, so we're really thankful for that. The one thing I did want to say, and this is with deep gratitude as well, being in the district for as long as I've been, I'm not going to age myself. However, it's with deep gratitude that we did pass last week's bond. And maybe it sounds selfish, but from my own standpoint, the impact that it's going to have on our building from a learning standpoint and a facility standpoint it's going to be very impactful. We're extremely excited about that. And that wouldn't have happened without the support of the entire Northville community. So very fortunate for that. So we're very thankful. We've got two academic groups that are really kind of waiting excitedly, if you haven't seen that, that have done an outstanding job this year. I'm going to turn that over to Mr. Lambden, but I do want to mention our academic games and our Science Olympiad continue to amaze us. And it's not about the trophies. It's about the work they do and the collaboration that matters. And to watch them do that the entire year and stay focused and driven and enjoy what they do and have a passion for that, that's what should be noted to me. And it's true. When you watch them in here in the evenings and so forth and all day long, and their families that are involved, and then the kids just, their joy for science and math and so forth, it's pretty incredible. So we do want to acknowledge that. And I'm going to turn that over to Mr. Lambden.
Thank you. I really can't add a lot to that. Well said by Mr. O'Neill, but I do want to just introduce the Director of Academic Games, Simone M.
Hello, good evening. Thank you. My name is Simona Morinchan, and I am the president of Academic Games. And this is our theme. I will start by thank you for the invitation. Thank you for Mr. O'Neill, Mr. Lambden, Dr. Weber, and the board. We are an organization that has kids from 3rd grade to 12th grade from all the schools in Northville. This year, we had over 100 members and as many parents as you can tell. Our organization is entirely parents run with volunteers from parents, grandparents, mothers, fathers, you name it. We meet twice or even 3 times a week in all the schools, in Meads Mill, in Hillside, in Northville High School, wherever we can get rooms, and we are very appreciative for that. We welcome kids from all the schools. We have kids from Ridgewood, Emmerman, all the schools, both the middle schools and the high schools. This year, we had 65 kids going to the state tournament, which we call Super Tournament, after 6 months of monthly competitions when we went all over Detroit and Ann Arbor on Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock, even in Columbia, one morning, where we competed against teams from Detroit, from Ann Arbor, from Columbia, as I said, and from Jackson. After competing in those, we went to the Super Tournament in Ypsilanti for 3 days, and we qualified 25 kids to the national tournament when they went with their parents and coaches. And for 3 days, 10 hours a day, they competed in all the games, and they got home many, many trophies. In my opinion, they are our brain athletes. These are kids who actually do not only learn math skill, language skill, or historic knowledge, they learn to compete with those skills. They use their brain to actually do sports with it, which is super cool. If I were the kid, I would have done this, but alas, they were not available in my time. So before I would let the coaches go over each team's trophies and merits, I just want to thank you, everyone, the principals, the board, for all the support. We couldn't have done this without you. And we are very proud to be part of this community who's so supportive, not only for sports, but only for academics. And we hope to continue to do this, who knows for how long, till Alzheimer hits us. So with that, I will introduce the coach from our youngest team. We call them minors. They are 3rd and 4th graders, and you could see them jumping up and down, waiting to get in there. So Coach Young from our minor team.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm Yang. I'm the coach for the minor team. I'm with Dr. Jason Huang, who coached with me this year. And we have 30 students registered for this program this year. We actually practice in this room twice a week, every week from September to March. And we had so much fun on learning, playing, competing, and crying, laughing, whatever, all together. And so in March, in early March, we went to, like Simona mentioned, we went to the Super Tournament for 3 days with those the older kids and my little ones, 3rd and 4th grade. If we think they cannot sit down like 15 minutes without moving, okay, in their classroom, we should be really proud because they played and compete 8 hours a day, one day for 8 hours. And I was in the room with them. I was sitting there and do my judging stuff, and I was exhausted at the end of the day. And they were jumping up and down, and they were happy and talking. So I'm really proud of them, and they represent Thank you. Thank you. And they represent Northville really well. And here is what they have accomplished. We played 5 games in the Super Tournament. We got 4 out of the 5 games, we got state champions.
Wow.
And thank you. And we got a 2nd place on the other game, and also 3rd place on 3 games. And for the division, we got all division first for all the games they played. So well done, all the minors, and I will pass to the elementary coach, Qi Hong. Qi Hong.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm Coach Qi Hong, and I'm the elementary team coach. So I have, actually, our team is a young team because I said we all have the new coach. So I have Coach Harmon to teach the president. I have the Coach Shin teach the equation. Also, I'm new to I coach language. So it's a new game for me too this year. And I have like 20 plus student player was enrolled. But in the end, like we have 18 player go to the state, 3 teams, and 3 player was in combo team. Also 2 team go to the national. So yeah, the kids are very, I mean, we have several kids last year go to national, so they were very like enthusiastic, want to learn and want to do better this year. So I have kids really learn very hard when we practice, also at home. So I mean, as a coach, also I understand how the teacher working because it's really hard to maintain the class orders. I have to say, so we are learning that too. So anyway, so in the state tournament we have 3 teams. So while we got the state champion in president and propaganda. So our team is a very strong reading game teams. Also, we have a state runner-up in the language and the division runner-up in equation. Also, we got an honorable mention in the president. So in national, we got a national champion in president and the 2nd place in the propaganda and the 4th place in language and the 5th place in both equation and onset. Also 7th place in equation for another team. And overall, we have the sweepstake, the 4th place. This is overall, it's all 5 game, all the score was, there's a calculation based on all the games scored, you have an overall ranking for the team. So also our individuals, our player also working very hard. Harmon was also get the 3rd place in with the sweepstake. Also we have Tony, he got the 3rd place in the president and 5th place in the propaganda. Also Harmon and Haley got the unbeatable in equation. I have to mention, actually, Haley is the 5th grader, and he was so I'm so proud of all what they are achieve in the national and the state. Like Coach Yang said, it's really an intense competition, 8 hours, and you're gonna go to the playoff. So playoff, actually, we have when we go to playoff our equation, actually we are 5th place, so we are face the 2nd place team. Actually, we go to how many rounds? 5 rounds. So yeah, so we are really fighting hard to. So anyway, thank you everyone to give me a chance to present my team. Okay, so what's next? Now let's coach.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Yan Li, so I'm one of the middle team coaches. I want to really shout out to our minor, Coach Yang and Coach Huang. After you see the results, you really notice to earn 4 state champion out of 5 games is a very remarkable thing. All the coaches here, I have tried very hard to get there. We haven't succeeded, but Coach Yang and Coach Huang did it. So congrats our minor teams. We're very fortunate at our middle school team. We have several volunteer coaches, including Coach Cheryl and Coach Simona earlier here, Coach Pushiami, and we have high schoolers also. As they play the game now, they come back to help our team to learn. As the team grow, the competition get harder. So 7th, 8th grader, it doesn't get any easier. It's actually getting pretty harder. And this year we have 35 kids from Meads Mill and Hillside in our program. Huge classroom, but we split and divide and conquer. The team did a pretty good job. We only get champions in presidents and basic golf at the state, a bunch of runner-ups. But the kids fought really hard in the last couple months as we head into the nationals. As you can see at the nationals, we were able to get into playoffs in all the cube games we were fighting to get into. We couldn't quite make it in the state, and they actually achieved champion in linguistics and second place in equations. The kids, we see the long hours, how hard they fight. For our middle division, we started at 8, and the last game ended at 11:30. That's English individual playoff in linguistics. 11:30, I was exhausted, but the kids are still playing. So very remarkable. And individually, we have 5 players achieve the top 10. Anvish, Maron, Herudia, Rishan, Shin. For time's sake, I'm not going to list their individual, what they did well, but I'm very, very proud of all the kids. I know middle school is very busy, and thank for all the parents, they drop in some kids like have sports and then go to age and then piano or something. So be able to balance all the activities and still achieve remarkable results. You guys can do anything that you wanted to do. So congratulations, and thank the board for the recognition.
All right. My name is Krishna Bodharaju. I coach high school. I started about 10 years with my son was in 3rd grade, so progressed with them. So I get to see the progression from unable to sit at table from 10, 15 minutes to develop that maturity and go back to elementary and middle school and coach. So these students who are dressed in black, these are from high school. High school club has about 14 or 15 students, so only 4 of them are here. But they do go back to elementary and middle, and they continue coaching. So from that state where they were jumping around to this, I see the graduation, how they do that. This year we have had, because of scheduling conflicts with, high school, there are 150 clubs. It's very difficult to compete with those other clubs. We have about 5 or 6 students that went to nationals, and as you can see, they won individual championships, undefeated couple of them, and then they were 4th in nation. They were also placed 9th in sweepstakes. As so far you have followed the conversation, there are 3 types of games here. The 2 English language games, there are 2 math-based games, and 2 social studies games. Sweepstakes means, think about somebody who is good at basketball, chess, wrestling, and baseball, all the same person. That's what sweepstakes is. So very, very hard to secure that, and some of the teams in the lower grades, they have achieved really high, that across board. And this year, for the first time in my 10 years of coaching, we got state first in the game of theme. I didn't do anything for that. I want to, the 9th grade social studies teachers, this year theme was Cold War. So whatever they learned in US history, they prepared themselves, they went to state, and they are state first. They started state champion. Wow. I want to thank the 9th grade and 10th grade social teachers. So this is predominantly parents run an organization, but when the school involves, when the school teacher involves, those are the results. They hit it out of the park. So we would like more involvement from school, as if school teachers can take either language game or social studies game, they will even do wonders. Thank you.
Our senior division has 6 students. None of them could come tonight due to various engagements. They went to the state tournament and they got state runner-up in senior linguistics and 3rd place in senior equations. But what's more important, we have students there that despite everything, like you can see them on the screen, Isaac Song, Charlie Sands, Anda Bri, Emirtash Shoglu, and Ayush Rayatata, and Mahek Verma, they come and they coach. In fact, Isaac, if I'm not mistaken, he started during COVID, and he continues to this day. And I honestly think the kids that he coaches understand more and like him more than they like us. They want Isaac to come or Anda to come, and they have to deal with us before they can enjoy interacting with Isaac. So, and with that, I will conclude and thank you again. And we are very grateful for being recognized.
Thank you, Academic Games. All right, academic games. We're going to need to make some room for our Science Olympiad team. We're going to have them come up next. Thank you. Great job.
Should we do a picture?
Got a whole other group. We can do that one or the one after. We could do. Yeah. Well, I think they're leaving. We have another group. We have another group. We have another group, Brad.
It's a different.
We have another group coming in. Okay. How are you?
RJ.
Yep.
Should we do a picture with the guys in green first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. 1 second. Can we get these folks back in? Could we get them back and we'll do a picture?
Hold on.
And
Running.
hurt them back
I
in.
know.
How was it? Would you have me back? I'm at Winchester tomorrow. I'm fourth grade tomorrow.
You guys did amazing.
So was this academic game stuff a lot of fun? It was really cool.
Megan.
Would you do it again?
Megan.
And
Can we
again?
move the
again?
screen back one?
I love
So
it.
it's the academic games.
Hey, well,
Come down
You can stay right over here if you want. Right here? Put somebody right here.
Keep going that way a little. You are right in the middle, not right in the middle. Right in the middle would be right. You can stand right here.
All right, so okay, what we're going to do is we're going to look at Miss Peck, and she has a red phone right up there because there are a lot of other cameras and they can be distracting, but that's the one that's going to be spread to the world. All right, so let's take a look at that one right now. Big smiles, everyone. All right, thank you. Well.
Get the selfie, get the selfie.
Yay. Have a good day.
Present. Oh, no, Lindsay Wilson. Oh, here we go. Good job, guys.
I love this middle school vibe we have going.
All
tonight.
right, next up we have our Science Olympiad. Coach Ming.
You're awesome.
Come on, team, come on. Science Olympiad, come on.
And don't leave until we get a picture with you.
So I've been here for, this is my 9th year. I believe the 7 years, our Science Olympiad team has been state champions. And when they haven't, they still qualified for nationals and they still have placed second place. So just a tremendous accomplishment, collaboration, teamwork, and so forth. So I'm going to hand it over to the coach, Coach Ming, and she can tell you a little bit about their year this year. It was incredible.
Good evening, everyone. Please allow me to read my notes. I don't want to miss anything because all the families and the whole team did so amazing job. So my name is Ming Ma. I'm the head coach of the Science Olympiad team. First and foremost, I would like to express my gratitude to all of you to giving us the opportunity to share our joy with you here tonight. Secondly, I want to extend my appreciation to our hardworking students, dedicated parents, and dedicated coaches, supportive parents, and the previous Science Olympiad families, coaches, and our high school coaches. With our school staff, administrations. So just like any championship in a program as extensive as Science Olympiad, our success is a result of the collective efforts of all parties get involved. Without each contribution and the blessing from the higher power, our team wouldn't shine as brightly as tonight. This is my first year as the Science Olympiad head coach. Initially, when I thought of science, the first thing pop in my mind is physics, chemistry, or biology. I didn't fully comprehend the vastness of the field. However, diving deep into the program as a head coach was like opening a Pandora's box, showing me an infinite world before my eyes. Science permeates every aspect of our life. It encompasses fields such as archaeology, astronomy, anatomy and physiology, agricultural science, botany, cryptology. I always have a problem to read this word. Data science, epidemiology, meteorology, statistics, thermodynamics, and many more. I didn't even know all about this. In Science Olympiad, there are 23 subjects are competed in each year, with the subjects changing every 2 or 3 years. Additionally, the topics within each subject change every year. This means even for a very curious young mind, even though they participate in the program year after years, there always be something new to look forward to and be challenged by. Science Olympiad has the power to captivate the parents as well. As more parents discovered the incredible value of the program, the competition across the whole country get very intensified, reaching to an unprecedented level of fierceness. With over 7,800 middle schools and high schools from 50 states participating in Science Olympiad each year, it is truly remarkable that only 60 middle school teams from across the whole country could be qualified to compete in the national level. Therefore, I want to reiterate to all the students here tonight that they should be immensely proud of themselves, especially considering all the obstacles the team has overcome, which makes our achievement even more remarkable. So thank you all your efforts to the students. When faced with these challenges, it's not easy to see the light. However, it's during these difficult moments that our students must learn to stay calm, focused, and resilient. Just like the Olympics, the program is very challenging, but the rewards are substantial. Gaining knowledge is only part of the program. The soft skills developed, such as teamwork, professionalism, accepting difficult challenges, approaching seemingly impossible goals, communicating with various stakeholders, like their supervisor in the tournament, taking on leadership roles, and serving the community with their talent will benefit them throughout their life, regardless of the career path they choose. The program teaches the students the true meaning of going above and beyond in real life. The students' efforts are evident in their screams of joy during the championship announcements, reflecting their pride and excitement. I would like to share the video that shows their enthusiasm. Meads Mill, the Meads Mill state champion. from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes.
Division B, first place. Also our Class B state champions.
They are so excited and proud. There's still so many wonderful aspects of the program to share, but Mr. Lambton only gave me 5 minutes. So I must conclude here. Looking ahead of next year, the Science Olympiad team would greatly appreciate it if the school district could schedule the 8th grade Washington, D.C. field trip on a different date than Science Olympiad program, Science Olympiad National Tournament. This year is the same day. So this way the students wouldn't have to give up either opportunity. We have only 10 days left until this year's national tournament, which will take place in Wichita, Kansas. Please keep us in your thoughts and wish us the best. Thank you all once again for your unwavering support and for providing the team with the opportunity to recognize the remarkable achievement of every student in our Science Olympiad program here tonight. Thank you.
Well, they're all ready for their photo op. That's good. So can we get a photo, please?
Scooch in, come on close. Step in between us, we gotta see your face.
There you go.
Come on, step forward.
There you go, right here.
Guys. Come on, guys. Let's step forward, let's see your faces.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck, Science
Well done.
Olympiad team in Wichita.
Thank you.
Only the best to you. Thank you. Oh, got a selfie.
Gotta get a selfie.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
Good luck the rest of the. Good luck. Good luck. Have fun.
Just want to thank if it's not too late, I just want to give thanks to our event coaches for helping us all this time, each step of the way. And whenever we had doubts, they would always be with us and help us. I would also like to thank the parent volunteers to drive us to each of our classes. If one of us couldn't go to the competition, they would help pick us up and take us there. And very big thanks to our coach, Coach Ming, head coach, Coach Ming, for coordinating this program and keeping our team together. It was very, she was there with us each way. She would always help us, and I think she's an amazing person. So thank you, Coach Ming.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we have a lot of still anxious students waiting for you. They're not here. They're in 3 different places. We do have the main part of our presentation still to go, and that is 7th grade science genetics. Arts, you're going to get a band presentation. And then the third presentation is going to be service and learning and community partnerships that we have in our think tank. I'm going to turn that over to Mr. Lambton, and then we're going to ask everybody to come back in here for feedback. There'll be a 10-minute rotation. I'm going to be on the PA saying, get to your next rotation. When you go to the think tank, that's more of 4 little presentations within that room itself, but there's a lot to ask the students. Please engage with them. And again, it's about 10 minutes and then you're going to rotate. So we've got science, we've got band, and we've got community service and community partnerships. Mr. Lambton.
It's like my house. I got to chase my kids around to get the remote. Yeah. All right. I really want to say thank you to the table right here. There are student council leaders here at Meads Mill. They're patiently waiting. They're really excited to have the opportunity to walk you around. So really up here, it's just a breakdown where you're going to go next. So for our band presentation, it's going to be led, that group A, is going to be led by Lauren Zotowski and Ella Collard. So girls, stand up. So if the board members there, Mr. Wilson, Ms. Prescott, Office of Instruction and Ed Tech will attend that group first. And anybody who wants to join with the band presentation first, our student council officers will take the first group there. The second presentation, so actually if you want to start, girls.
All right.
Thank you. The second presentation where you will start is our student leaders, Marissa Valentini and Samantha Paredes. Thank you, girls. And you will be leading Ms. Campbell-Voitel and Ms. McIntyre, and then Office of Human Resources and Finance and Operations. And they're right here. Thank you, girls. Down to the E-Wing, E-Pod. And then service, learning and service to the community, that is going to be Miss Polo. I can never say Adia. I wish I could. And Bobby Link with board members, Mr. Mazurik, Miss Meyer, and Miss Stewart, and Office of Special Services, and Dr. Weber. So, thank you.
We'll be emailing your teachers and I just want to personally, Mr. Lamnon and I want to thank our students and our staff that stuck it out, presented. Again, it's just, this is all about our kids. This is why we do this. We want them to showcase themselves and what they've learned in their school, the experiences that they've had. I like it because it's authentic. This is it. This is what they do. Very proud of them. So I just want to say, Mr. Lambden and I are very proud of you, and thanks for being here this evening. So that wraps up. I know there's a QR code as well. I think you might have mentioned that for feedback, but please, yeah, we'll be sharing the link as well, but be more than happy to get your feedback at this time and then send them on their way.
I'll be short. I think I might be the only one parent who has a student in the school. I actually have two. And this school is definitely a very special place in my heart. You guys really showed up for the Board of Education and put Meads Mill's best foot forward, whether it was like a performing arts, a science, how you're giving back to the community, how you're connecting with each other, being such great hostesses and hosts, walking us around, you showing us your classrooms. It was authentic, and it was very impressive. We go to all of the schools, and we sit one of our meetings in all of the schools, and Meads Mill really shines, and the way you guys kind of came here and made your school look good to the Board of Education is something you should be proud of. There's also a lot of underlying work below that, the stuff you're actually doing in your classrooms. It's a very special place. So I just want to congratulate you guys for doing that and showing off Meads Mill, and for being who you are. You make a really cool community here.
I just wanted to say that tonight was fun. That's what really stood out to me. Whether you were playing an instrument or teaching about science or talking about a service project, I could really feel the joy. And I heard Dr. Weber talk a lot about joy in learning. And that's what was so special to me. I had a lot of fun learning from you and getting to listen to you, whether you're talking about a service project that you've done or the beautiful music that you played. So kudos to the teachers, the students, everyone for just really bringing out that joy of learning. I had a great time. Thank you.
So guys, I give you guys a lot of credit, but I got to really give some credit to the girls here. I loved seeing so many girls involved in science and engineering. Just like you, I learned a bunch of things tonight that I didn't know, and it was just cool seeing you talk about it. It was cool seeing you guys give presentations with enthusiasm. I mean, really clear. You knew exactly what was going on. That really impressed me. Me and Miss Prescott have been around schools for a lot of years, and we both know when we were young, we could not do what you guys are doing today. So impressed. And I'm going to ask one question, but I only want two of you to answer because it'll go crazy. But how many of you guys really got forced into doing this presentation, or did you guys just volunteer because you like doing it? Just two of you, whoever. You volunteered? Way to go. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I would echo what my colleagues have said. What a fun school to be a part of. That I think Mrs. Prescott and I were the super tasters. I didn't know that about myself, so I learned something new. So cheers to
She shared her mints with me so that we can both.
Can you pass one down here? Because apparently I'm also a super taster, and that surprised me. So
I will note the majority, because we're in middle school, I'm going to make middle school-esque jokes, so bear with me. The majority of people, though, had no taste at all. So we're tasteless.
Dad joke.
Sorry.
Such a disappointment, too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
please. No, go ahead.
I thought you were done. Go.
No. I insist.
I think that I just noticed that in all of the aspects that you shared with us, learning was on the go. You were on the move. You were on the move and reaching out in your community work. The efforts that you put together to build an inclusive school, and were motivated by not only your own personal lives, but also your commitment to act on what you valued in terms of inclusion, the LINKS program. I heard a lot of cross linkages between the Cooper Standard engineering experience and the kind of the systematic process of achieving an outcome that you could translate into your other classes. So there was, some benefit, cross benefit. The band presentation, we talked about that is arts in action. And you talked about trying different instruments and exploring music and appreciating its roots, as well as your ability to play together as a cohesive band. And all of that is just learning on the go in meaningful ways that allow you to explore yourselves, as well as maybe find some new directions when you get to the high school. So thank you for sharing that tonight. It was great.
So I just wanted to say that one of my favorite things as a board member is getting to visit each of the schools and get to meet some of the students and the teachers and the administrators. I have never been further inside the school than the fishbowl. And so to get a little peek at what you guys see every day is really exciting for me. So just thanks for sharing your school with me. It's exciting to see another part of Northville. So thank you guys. You did a great job tonight.
I just have a couple comments. Great comments as always from the team here. Thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you, Mr. Lambden and Mr. O'Neill for the awesome work that went into this, and all the teachers and kids that were involved. Just a couple of things that I kind of noted along the way. You should all be applauded for the awesome community service work that you're doing, whether it's the the UTA bands for kids in Guatemala, Mott Hospital. One that really spoke to me was the Cooper Standard program that you're participating in. There was a concept that you learned about that that at my company where I work at, the Kaizen concept. That's a huge concept where we work. And so you guys are getting kind of, at least to the extent my employer's state of the art sort of stuff out there. So you guys are really learning some great stuff. Karen, I love the way you use the word fun. This is really fun. I haven't heard the name Gregor Mendel in, decades, we'll say. The music, you guys have such a great music program here. Year after year, I remember last year's musical performance this year. I said it when I was in the room, but it really sort of spoke to my Scottish heritage. And also, did anybody else hear strains of Star Wars and Movement 1? Did anybody else hear that? All right, see, I just want to make sure I'm not crazy. 2, 3, all right. What else? Yeah, I'm really excited for you guys and what we're going to be able to do, and what the community has voted for you guys through the bond work that's going to happen in the next several years. This building is already vibrant and energetic and has so many great things going on, but with the bond improvements that I think we're going to make here, I'm so excited to see what that's going to look like in a few years. So those are my comments. Thank you.
And we have a new tradition we started at the beginning of this year, and we're going to do it again. But I'd be remiss to not say that from the administrators to teachers I see in this room, who I was with this afternoon, Mr. Boffman, working on some really big, important work that's coming our way, and students who are here, 8 o'clock this morning, and still brought it. It's had the juice, brought us joy, frankly. And I think one of the biggest things that I hope that we can learn together is that you can have incredible performance and have a lot of fun getting there and doing it. This life is meant to be lived. So with that said, all parents, staff, students, come on, come behind us here. We're going to take a big picture. See you guys.
Great job.
Good job, kid.
Oh, you're a super taster? Well, I shouldn't say. Okay, so you're in the middle. You were with me. Yeah. I was wondering if, truthfully, no taste.
I was like, this is this, right? We can squeeze in.
Explains why I can eat these strong mints. It doesn't bother me, right? Because I just don't taste them.
There we go.
Did you think
Come on, guys. Not like an alpha weight or something. You want to sit here? Oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'll see this. Yeah, go ahead. There's space right here.
I'd eaten the stuff that.
Space right here. Nice, right? Squeeze in. Come on in.
1, 2, 3.
All right.
Yay. Good job, everyone.
Excellent job. Thank you.
Just a second. All right. There's pizza in the conference room.
I think I just.
Nobody saved any pizza for us.
Thanks, Graham. Thanks, Will.
Appreciate it, yeah.
Thank you, man.
You did say something about pizza.
Great job. Awesome.
Be well, everybody.
Thank you. Excellent job.
My pleasure.
Oh, no.
Thanks, guys.
Just I feel the middle school vibe, the energy. Feel the energy.
Yeah. I feel the energy every day.
Yes, so I.
I know.
My kid's asking for my Apple ID right now because he wants to
All right.
put something on his computer.
Fantastic. Isn't that great?
Music. So A, B.
We do.
Chop, chop, people.
Yeah.
Chop, chop.
I know, right?
9 o'clock. We can get through the next.
Oh, yeah.
We can get through
Maybe I just did
the rest of the
23.
agenda in 6 minutes.
Until our closed
Maybe
session.
5.
Okay.
5 minutes or less to get through the rest of the agenda. We can do
Okay,
it.
all right.
All right.
8:56. Excellent. All right, let's bring us back. This brings us, thank you so much, everyone. This
That was
brings us
fun.
To our first opportunity of 2 for public comment. We have no one in the public that wants to give comment. That's great. Number 10, new hires. I'll hand it over to Ms. Prescott.
All right, I'm pleased to bring forward motion 103 that the board award a 1-year probationary NEA contract to the following staff for the 23-24 school year as presented: Madeline Kreil and Jessica Ritter.
Support.
So I have a motion properly presented by Ms. Prescott and supported by Mr. Mazurek. Mr. Maydoun, any insight on these individuals?
Yes, as you're well aware, hire anything in the realm of special education is always a joy. And so we are real pleased with the 2 quite quality candidates we were able to find. First one for a speech pathologist, she's going to make multiple buildings. That's to address the increased need for speech pathology that we have in this district. Her references, I ended up talking to her reference. She's been teaching for 7 years. She said Poconos School District. I ended up speaking to her reference about 15 minutes on the phone with her direct supervisor. We had a great conversation. Just how much of a loss she was to her district. She even spoke about how her own child was receiving service, and just saying how great it was. And I mean, she understood that we were getting a good one because she moved to the side of the state. So she was very enthusiastic. She seemed for herself. She knows her things, but the interview she was very impressed with the things that she was able to express to us. She was far and above the best of her candidates that we had. And then the research room teacher was a replacement for one we lost for next year. Jessica Ritter, who is currently at Monkey Public Schools. Her reference checks revealed that she's an advocate for her students. And also that she always about implementing best practices. Whatever the best practices in her bill, she implements those practices into her craft. And she has 8 years of experience in education. So I'm honored to be able to make those recommendations. And I hope you
They sound like great hires. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Motion passes. Thank you. That brings us to number 11 on our agenda. Ms. McIntyre, please.
All right, I'm so happy to bring forth this motion, 104, that the board adopt the resolution delegating the sale of school district 2023 bonds as presented.
Support.
So I have a motion properly presented by Ms. McIntyre and supported by Mr. Mazurek. Do we need any discussion on this item?
Other than to say, we reviewed these details several weeks ago in the finance committee. We went through this. This was all pre-planned in case the public came through and supported the bond. This is a kind of a standardized process. Actually, we're using the exact same process that we did from 6 years ago. And we thoroughly vetted it with the team.
Thank you so much.
We're also going to offer an opportunity for students to be a part of this, correct? Yeah, I think that's a really important thing to share.
Aaron is helping us on this. So actually, we're going to close the bonds on June 22nd. But preceding that, the pricing of this is actually going to occur on June 7th. And so what we are planning, the business planning, is a kind of a student engagement event where the pricing of the bonds is actually going to occur at the high school. So the trading room for Steeple, who's the lead underwriter, is in St. Louis. But they're going to bring in a screen. So basically what the students will be able to see is the bonds have different maturities and as bids come in. So they'll see those bids kind of come in and see really what's happening real time. The nice thing about it is after the actual pricing kind of shuts down, because it's only for a certain time period, basically what will happen is people will kind of stay around, talk a little bit about students, about what the bond market is like, what it entails. Also, part of that conversation is going to be our construction manager. Also, we're going to have a representative from AUK, from GMP will be there, and our holders rep, Michelle Turns will be there. So they're going to talk about the whole bond process. So it's really going to be a kind of a learning and instruction event, again, with some real-time events taking place. It should be a great learning opportunity for our kids.
That's very cool. Is there any opportunity for us to?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I might make a little room for you all, but
All right.
it's first.
That would be,
Excellent. All those in favor?
wait, I have to call.
I think we need a roll call.
Yep, this is a roll call.
Roll call. Okay, Ms. Stewart,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Prescott.
Yes.
Ms. McIntyre,
Yes.
Mr. Mazurek,
Yes.
Ms. Meyer,
Yes.
and Dr. Voitel, yes.
That passes. Thank you so much for the hard work on that. That brings us to number 12, added agenda items. Ms.
There are
Irving?
none.
There are none? All right. That leads us to our second of two opportunities for public comment, going once, going twice. That brings us to number 14, questions, comments from board members. Do we have any?
Nope.
That would be a no. That brings us to our motion for closed session. I will hand it over to Ms. Prescott, please.
All right, I would move that the board convene in closed session pursuant to Public Act 267-8K, which is consideration of security planning to prevent threats to the safety of students and staff.
Support.
So I have a motion properly presented by Ms. Prescott and supported by Mr. Mazurek. This is to go into closed session, as Ms. Prescott stated, to discuss security planning, something that we like to do and need to do in closed session. Any further discussion needed?
Just that we will not have further business and we'll gavel out. So this is the end of the public event.
That's right. All those in favor? We need a
Roll call.
roll on this one as well.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Prescott,
Yes.
Ms. McIntyre,
Yes.
Mr. Mazurek,
Yes.
Ms. Meyer,
Yes.
Ms. Stewart,
Yes.
and Dr. Voitel, yes.
So the motion passes. Thank you so much. So at 9:03, unless you do this, at 9:03, we will convene.
Go into closed session.
Closed session, yep.
Are we going